Hello.
We're here.
We're live. We're doing it live.
Doing it live.
Should I retweet?
Let's retweet.
Oh my gosh, this lighting is not my favorite, but there
It's
were
just like it's just a sunny day.
it's a sunny day. Great. It is a sunny day here in New York City. It's quite chilly actually. A little chill. There's a chill in the air.
Nice.
Okay.
A little fall moment.
Ugh, unfortunately, yeah. I'm not a fall gal.
I know.
I'm a summer. I love summer, hate everything else kind of gal. Okay. Going to Serbia this evening.
Wow.
So I know that's a crazy thing to be doing. Belgrade, Eastern Europe. Not
okay. So tell me about the flight path.
Okay, the flight path. Because I'm committed to Delta, I am flying through Stockholm. You would absolutely die at the itinerary.
Tell me more.
Okay.
Tell me more. Okay, so overnight to Stockholm.
Overnight to Stockholm. Okay. Arrive at like 8 a.m.
Okay.
And then have a full day in Stockholm.
Oh, okay.
Which I love Stockholm. It's a really fun.
Leaving your luggage at the airport.
Leaving my luggage at the airport. And have I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to get a cardamom bun amongst other treats that I'll be partaking in. And then I have a really fun lunch at this place that I love. Anyway, some fun stuff. Gonna go to the Acne. There's like a Acne outlet. I mean, outlet is the wrong word because it's like very chic, but it's like a sample, all their samples basically. Got some amazing stuff there in the past. So gonna stop by there. And then anyway, fly out at 8 p.m., arrive into Serbia at 11:30 p.m. And that's what it is.
Like
Belgrade.
a 4 or 5 hour flight?
Two and a half. So not that bad.
Okay.
So it's actually not that bad. But what's hard is like you showing up, you have no sleep. You're like, it's been a long time since I've been asleep in a bed by the time I get to a bed. And then there for the weekend and then leave Sunday. So
fun.
Very fun. Very much looking forward to the experience that I'm about to have. I going in totally eyes wide shut. No clue. Absolutely no clue. But one of my very good friends is turning 30. She's from Serbia. She's throwing a big party there. 30 people are coming in from all around the world. It's crazy situation.
Super fun.
So I'm doing that.
Got to get those Delta points. I actually need to. I had a friend once who would do. Well, he's still my friend, but I don't think he does this anymore. But the mileage runs. He was so committed to the points game that like you're getting on a flight to Cincinnati, even though you don't need to be in Cincinnati because you want to get your
gold
miles to
platinum
special, whatever it is. Yeah.
But also I do feel like the benefits are getting like it used to be like if you had status, you were getting upgraded every flight.
Yeah.
And now I get upgraded to comfort most of the time, but like a first class flight, the only time that's happening is if I'm taking the first flight out to Nashville or the first flight out to Fort Lauderdale. Those are the only flights that you're getting.
Yeah,
upgraded.
a 2 hour first class experience.
2 hour first class experience. And let me tell you, the superiority I feel in those 2 hours. Unprecedented.
I know, but you're not even like
there's not even a meal.
There's not even a meal. There's not even barely a drink service. At that point, you're just like, I just need some water. I need to hydrate. It's not like you're going to get a glass of champagne. Although I have seen people do it on the New York to Nashville.
I have seen people do it. I've seen some crazy. Recently, I was on a flight and the two guys next to me became friends. We're not friends when we sat there. Became friends and started drinking heavily on this flight together. And I was like, wow, that's just not a temptation I have. That's not my vice to like get drunk on a plane. That sounds actually horrible.
I do love that. That does sound like a beautiful human moment, though. I think we need more of that.
Yeah, it was quite loud. I got to tell you, I was like, could you guys shut up? Like, I'm trying to watch Bridgerton. No, not Bridgerton, Gilded Age. I'm trying to fall asleep while watching the Gilded Age. Okay.
Nice. Oh my gosh, I've had to exit stage left on Gilded Age, it's a show
when you're sick. It's a show for when you're sick.
Yeah.
Because you can fall asleep and you can wake up and literally nothing's happened.
At any point, you could tap back in.
There was something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, I'm on my creatine journey.
Yeah.
We're journeying together. I have quite a few people who are like, keep me posted. I
might start. I didn't realize
you should.
mental
A
health.
mental game.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
it's a mental game. It's also a mental game when you first get started though,
Yeah.
because you gain weight. And
Yeah.
then but I'm off. I gained and I'm
Mhm.
back. So it
Great.
does come off, I
Yeah.
think. I
Yeah.
think. But there was a few days where every single day I was gaining a pound and I was like, I'm not trying to bulk. Okay. I'm not trying to
Uh-huh,
like get
uh-huh,
swole.
uh-huh.
I'm like want my brain to be firing all cylinders and I want some muscle definition. And like that's what I'm looking for here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and it's kind of crazy how quickly you
Yeah.
can snap into
Yeah, and
something.
I might do like a creatine Zyn combo.
I love that for you. I love that for
It
you.
really should. Next time I'm on this podcast, I'm just like firing on all cylinders. You guys are gonna be like, "What's up with Tina? Creatine and Zyn." Okay, should we get
Oh
into
my
it?
gosh. Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay.
Boys Club, we are sitting at the intersection of Zen and creatine. Um no, what is Boys Club? I can take this one. Boys Club
Great.
is one part creative studio, one part media business. We have podcasts, we have newsletters, we do a ton of events, all centered around the intersection of essentially interesting technology that's affecting real people. And we have a lot of fun doing it. We say that we're for smart, dumb people or dumb, smart people. I wanted that to be in my bio for I'm speaking at something. And I asked Miranda if that could be my bio. And she was like, that's not going to work. I was
Oh,
like, okay.
oh.
Which was the right call in that case scenario.
Totally.
But this
And
is
oh
our
wait,
live stream. Oh, go ahead.
that's it. That's
That's
it.
it. Okay.
Mhm.
That's okay. Okay. Next slide.
Okay, thanks to Polygon. They sponsor this podcast. We love them, this live stream and podcast. If you've touched crypto in any way, chances are you've already used Polygon. It's the chain quietly powering a bunch of stuff that actually works, that people actually use, like Stripe's crypto payments, betting on poly markets, prediction markets, and so much more. We love Polygon. Appreciate you guys sponsoring this stream. And let's get into the agenda. Okay, so we have a couple minutes before our first guest arrives. We're going to talk Coinbase, Sam Altman, Gavin Newsom.
Gang's all
We
here.
are the Holy Trinity. And then we're going to talk about Essence and Vogue, new some fashion news with a guest, Faran, and another guest, Los, on the viral Labubu app. And then Kate will join us for some quick hits, which SNL Cast, J.Crew AI, Meek Mill, Cardi B, lots here today. So let's get started. I just wrote the newsletter on this, which is so it's fresh for me. But basically, if you're not up on the news, Coinbase is really doing a pivot towards this everything exchange move, and part of that is prediction markets. They're talking about prediction markets. They're talking about real world assets. They're talking about tokenized stocks. Basically, like all the stuff that Robinhood announced earlier this summer. They're like, we're going to do that too, and we're going to do prediction markets. And we're just like, if you're going to be trading something online, you're going to be coming to Coinbase. Is basically how they're positioning this. So that's kind of interesting. I have to plug in my laptop, so just
Great.
give me a second.
I'll
Okay.
just chat here. I have some thoughts on this and some ideas for them. I know that they are looking for that for me for sure. I also slid into this man's DMs with a Hey King because I was hoping he would come on this podcast. Hasn't quite gotten back to me yet,
Okay.
but there's still time. There's always time. And yeah, I'm curious about like there's something about prediction markets to me that are so degenerate in their nature. And I know that they aren't, like they're very legitimate like sources of information. The technology that's required to actually have a prediction market that's efficient is like a serious endeavor, but they're so deeply associated with just like degenerate gambling to me. That it's interesting to have Coinbase like playing in that game. At the same time, I have so much trust. They have so much brand equity and trust that them stretching into all these markets makes a ton of sense because it's like, okay, who am I going to trust to make transactions? Like it's Coinbase. And so why leave any sort of money on the table if you're them?
Totally. Jesse Pollock said on a live stream that they want Coinbase to be people's primary financial app. So like you're opening your phone, you're essentially banking through Coinbase and doing all the other stuff that you would do with your money through Coinbase too. So that's the vision.
Question for you, a personal finance question.
Yeah.
Really quick. Are you, so I have a high interest savings account with a bank.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love that for you.
I wasn't saying it as like self-congratulatory. If that's how it came off, I was just like,
I have a high interest savings account with Amex. Wow.
Not at all. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm totally tracking. Yeah. Go on.
I was just like stating that. And originally when I opened it, it had 4% interest, 4.2% interest on it.
Standard.
Then it's gone down to 3.6, which I think a lot of high yield savings accounts have.
Okay.
I'm curious if you hold any of your savings, and that's very much like savings to me. It's not, I'm really never touching it. If you hold that in USDC, which I think it's 4.5% return, or if you hold it in a high interest savings account.
I don't have a savings account.
Okay. That's why you congratulated me.
Yeah, I don't have a savings account. I put everything in
crypto.
I maybe everything all in on crypto. No, I have I do have a lot in crypto, but I have also some in Vanguard in like index funds basically. So
okay, you don't have any like liquid like rainy day fund that's not in an investment.
I mean, I have some cash that I keep floating in my checking account, but I as much as I can, I'm pushing it into
okay,
index funds.
Remember,
I don't know if that's not financial advice. Like, I don't know if that is what you should be doing or not, but that's what I do.
Remember when the market crashed a few months ago, like really, really bad. I can't remember what happened, and it was like never been so happy. There's a tweet that was like, never been so happy or to be a bitch with $35,000 in my checking account or something. Like something about like not having any exposure was actually like really paying off. Anyway, okay. Well, if there is a financial advisor on the call, call me.
Let us know. Let us know what we should be doing. I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, I feel as though I should move some of it. All I'm trying to say is I feel as though I should move more of it into it somewhere that is getting higher interest.
But the Coinbase everything exchange.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Perfect transition here. Okay. We only have a couple minutes before we want to get into fashion news. I'm wondering if we want to do this story. Sam Altman.
Let's do
Sam Altman taking a jab at Elon Musk. Okay, so I'm gonna share this tab. Have you watched this or not? I actually don't know if the volume's gonna work.
What is an example of a decision that you've had to make that is best for the world but not best for winning?
Well, we haven't put a sex bot avatar in ChatGPT yet.
That does seem like it would get time spent.
Apparently it does.
I'm gonna ask my next question.
This is really funny.
Example of a
I hate it. Like, I actually hate watching this clip. I just everything, the way he says sex robot or sex bot, the way her face, like all of it is just really upsetting to me. I don't know if you have the same experience of it.
I think there's like something that's happening with the audio that's giving it all like a fry quality that I think is triggering. It can be an like a auditory trigger for people. Maybe you.
Triggered, yeah, it's full
triggered. I think, I mean, he's just so deeply unlikable that it's like anytime we're
watching unlikable. Like it's crazy. It's crazy how unlikable.
It's crazy. And I know I've said this to you before. I probably have said this on this podcast before. I don't know why he keeps doing media, because he doesn't seem to be enjoying it. We don't enjoy watching him, and it doesn't ever make him look better. It makes him always look less trustworthy, less credible, more unlikable.
I totally. Also, like, it's pretty rare that I feel like a guy who's giving like twink energy, which Sam Altman does, is unlikable. Like, I very rarely meet a twinky guy and think, I don't like you. I'm always like, I want to hang. Let's go hang out. And Sam Altman, I'm like, I fear you.
Yeah, totally.
I don't love it. Okay, can we quickly watch the other one? Just really, because
I do. I just want to say one quick thing here.
After.
One quick thing here is that was obviously a very pointed shot at the head of Elon Musk. So, whatever, do with that what you will. But that was the game that they're That's their kink. We have not consented to be a
We
part
have
of that
not
kink.
consented at
However,
all.
we are participating
We are
in that
participating
kink between them.
on a daily, on the daily, actually, as on Twitter.
Totally.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
We'll come back to
so-
Gavin Newsom later.
Great. Should we pull up our first guest?
Let's do it.
Okay. How do I get this off?
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hi.
Wait, let me
Doing
hold on.
good.
I'm way too close. There,
No,
better.
you're good.
Oh,
You're
much
perfect.
better.
You're beautiful. Okay,
There.
I'm just going to do a quick intro, then we can get into it. Faran Krentcil, columnist at Business of Fashion and the BBC, writing, has been seen in Elle, Wall Street Journal, Harper's Bazaar, WMAT, all the big names, teaching at the New School. It's been so fun doing
My alma
which is
mater.
alma mater.
Hey.
Hey.
So excited to have you in doing research for this segment. A treasure trove of stuff that you've written about that we could spend entire podcasts talking about. So just some hits here. Where TikTok beauty meets Make America Healthy Again, dorm water. So this idea of like these college co-eds, like putting in the shower fixtures, like just an incredible trend that I'd love to talk about. An Atlantic piece that you wrote recently, just let your kids play with makeup. Just so much fun stuff. It's so nice to have you on.
Thank you for having me. This is super cool.
Okay, so there's a lot of that we'd love to chat about, but there is some big fashion industry news that has hit over the past week that I do think that we should probably prioritize today.
Go for it.
And that I would love to get your take on. Okay, so the first one is SSENSE bankruptcy news. Now, just for folks who don't have context, SSENSE is based in Montreal, and there's all these Canadian. There's like they have what has been filed is like pre-bankruptcy, like the equivalent of pre-bankruptcy proceedings in the U.S., but the Canadian version. And from what I understand, the bankruptcy was filed by their lenders. So the founders are very much like, we're fighting, we want to do this. Their hand was forced by the people who they owe money to, basically. And the positioning was like, it's effectively about the tariffs, but that their business had been like kind of something before that. And so that's kind of the headline news. But what's your take on all of this?
My high level take is that there's too much inventory and there's not enough interest. And I say that as someone who's I've never worked at SSENSE. I've never even written for SSENSE, although I have to say I've been rooting for them for a long time, because not only do they invest in new talent on the design side, but they also are pretty phenomenal about hiring wonderful, writers, editors, and thinkers to produce content on the homepage, as if it is, a high snob, or as if it is like a trend forecasting company. So yeah. I have to say, like, I'm really rooting for them, just in the sense that I love that they give platforms to emerging designers and also just to like independent, cool thinkers. I have a lot of friends and a lot of colleagues who have written for SSENSE, and it rocks. I also want to say, just for people that are super out of the loop, and this is not your fault, we're not talking about SSENSE, the magazine about Black female.
Correct.
Correct.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thankfully, that magazine and the media company attached to it is still chugging along, and the covers lately have been really beautiful. I encourage you to check it out. We are talking about SSENSE, SSENSE, which is, as you said, the Montreal-based chaos agent, sometimes known as an independent fashion superstore. That's what I'm going to call it. I think there's the collision of several things here. They're blaming the tariffs. Yeah, 25% tariffs in Canada are insane. They're incredibly harmful, especially on things like clothes. The other thing is something that, listen, this is not a new thought. Donna Karan said this 30 years ago. She said, the problem with American shopping is that we're teaching the customer to shop on sale. And that was something that when she started DKNY, she was trying to combat. And in fact, the more money, the more, investment capital started confronting her business and trying to get a piece of her business, the more she realized that diffusion lines and independent lines are created, in fact, to often do that. So SSENSE has these epic sales. You follow any Substack, You follow any who, what, where post, you follow any Marie Claire shopping guide, they'll be like, wait for the Essence sale. They have these epic sales. The great thing about these sales is that they introduce younger or more timid or just more budget conscious shoppers, American shoppers. Essence has a huge American base, to designers they might never get to touch, right? Martine Rose feels really removed, really elevated from the average American shopping experience. Zach Posen at Gap is not designing Martine Rose. You're not going to confront it at the mall, but you go to Essence and on a good day, you can get a pair of those pants. You can get one of those fabulous shirts for a couple $100, maybe even $100. And so it was an incredible discovery platform, but that's not the job of it's an ideal, but that's not the job of a corporation.
Totally.
It's not discovery, right? It's sales. So people would wait for the sales. They would come about often enough and they would get highlighted so frequently, especially in this Substack shopping culture, that they would become, cyclical events in their own right. The same way, look, full confession, I will load up my J.Crew shopping cart. I'm sure y'all do this. And then you just wait. You wait until you're like 70% off sale. And you're like, yes, I will take that $30 cashmere sweater. Thank you. Sorry, Olympia. I have massive respect for you. And yet, look, so people were using Essence the same way that people were using Gap and J.Crew. You can't really do that when there are hundreds, sometimes thousands of items that you're just waiting to discount, and they have to keep them chilling on ice in a not literal ice, except for some of the beauty products, who knows, but in a warehouse. So that's a big problem. I know a lot of people who used to work there. Again, I say this as someone who did not work there, but who knows, it's fashion. Everyone knows everyone. The other thing is Malik Morris did a beautiful job in Business Fashion of reporting this out. I'd really encourage you to check out his story. Yola Mzizi did it at the New York Times as well. It's not a secret that there was some chaos and some strife and some anxiety going on inside the company itself, right? They also lost two of their most excellent ambassadors, Steph Yaka and Tom Bettridge, to ID. Carly Kloss lured them away. They're phenomenal storytellers, but what's more important, equally important, is that they're storytellers who understand how to center product in their storytelling, right? Steph just did something on Jura Atlantic in ID, and I apologize, Steph, I know I pronounced that one wrong. I wasn't a fan of the clothes on the runway, and now I'm actually like, oh, maybe I should buy this, because Steph centers the experience of wearing clothes so beautifully in her stories, right? So you had the loss of these two people who were telling these stories about why you could live another life in these clothes. You have Gen Z kind of moving through their revenge shopping phase, confronting their Klarna-Bill, confronting the fact that it is no longer a buyer's market, so to speak, when it comes to picking their own careers and being able to hop around. Like, the job market has changed. And so suddenly Essence's core customer is starting to get nervous, right? They're not necessarily going to invest full price in that thing that they had a crush on. They might not even invest partly price. So you're losing that, you're losing the storytelling, you're confronted with these crazy tariffs, and it's not great. I think the fact that they're saying this is bullshit, we're fighting it, is awesome. Like, I'm rooting for them. I really am. Totally. Maybe I'm not supposed to or not allowed to say that as a journalist, but I think any platform that will say, here's our homepage, use your voice. Here's our homepage. That outfit looks a little crazy. What if you try it? A+++, right? Yeah. Like, that's what we need. Ultimately, fashion is about figuring out how to build the person you are going to become, right? And it's also about feeling that you are less alone aesthetically. Essence helped us do both of those things. And so, of course, I'm going to root for it. But infrastructure-wise, inventory-wise, perhaps culture-wise inside the company, obviously they're going to have to change some things. And some of it's completely out of their control, right? We don't know how this tariff thing is going to go. Honestly, like, we don't even know who's going to show up at the press briefing tomorrow. That's just
totally.
I'm sorry, but like that's just will it be at a hotel or will it be at a landscaping? So,
Totally. I mean, I think when I think of Essence, I think of like the picture that comes to mind to me is like a girl, a woman in what looks like felt booty shorts and like leg warmers and like walking that out. And I'm like, that's so cool. There's so much self-expression in that. It has always been like, who's buying this and why? But that's amazing.
Well, and Natasha, the little catch that you just had, with your language, girl, sorry, woman, right? That's the problem, right?
Yeah, totally.
Losing what used to be their core customer, but they're not entirely replacing it, at least not in the numbers that we have, right?
Yeah.
We are not seeing that they're replacing it with an older customer.
Right.
This is happening at a time when they were trying to add more, they're trying to add more personal care, right? Which we know is the domain of Gen X, right? We know that women in their late 40s to late 50s are the ones who are really able and willing to put the money into that, right? We know that millennials are in various states of transition. Some of them are mothers, some of them are divorcees, some of them are CEOs, some of them are founders. In a way that Gen Z is still catching up to. And those transitions, they just correspond with more aesthetic changes, more shopping. They just do. So, we're waiting. The leg warmer situation, I will say, incidentally, if anyone wants to invest in Danskin on this call, and again, not investment advice. I was lucky enough this summer, I taught at the School of the New York Times, which is like a summer school for aspiring teen journalists. And can I tell you that some of the coolest girls I have ever seen?
I bet.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Zero chill. And they are wearing leg warmers and they're wearing arm warmers. And I was like, someone watched Fame. Like someone decided that this was happening.
Yeah.
So that I can't speak to, after the ballet court, who the heck knows?
Where we headed after that. One of the memes that I really loved that was going around, and maybe you won't want to say on this call, but one of the things I really loved was like RAP Essence, it should have been. And then it was like, it should have been Kith. It should have been Emilion Dor. Like people were like listing who they would have preferred it to be, which I thought was a really creative dunk, a very creative dunk that the internet created. But okay, I do want to ask you, like, this is indicative, I think, of like the landscape of online, online retail and sort of what do you think? Where do we go from here? Where are you noticing? Where are you shopping? Like, I think I saw some sort of thinking around the fact that like, wow, if Essence isn't what the future of e-commerce is going to look like what is the future of e-commerce going to look like for independent brands? So curious if you have any thoughts around that.
That's a great question. And honestly, RIP Essence, it should have been one of the multiple brands that sells $3 t-shirts that end up in a landfill and harm our oceans and children. Like, I have no problem answering that question. Okay. I think that in a really weird way, I'm going to compare this a little bit to legacy media. And what I mean by that is, having worked both in and out of legacy media for so long, you'll see this cycle of layoffs, and then 6 months later, you'll see a job posting for the exact job that they laid off. And I think often with online retail, it's the same cycle where they'll say this is over, and then 6 months later, it comes right back. I think the easy answer, perhaps even the lazy answer, would be to say that social commerce-driven shopping is going to vastly overtake these online repositories. And that if Substack knows what, is looking far into the future, it will start building its own type of content-driven mall, right? I don't know that that's necessary. And if it is, I think they're going to have to do a really beautiful, elegant job streamlining that so that people can find the content.
Sorry, just to be clear, just to clarify, you're like TikTok shopping, basically.
Well, the numbers are there.
Totally. Yeah. A version of that. Yeah.
I spend so much time, but I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think video is a blessing and a curse, because on the one hand, it is really great. And thank goodness, even like Net-a-Porter added those videos where like the girl will spin around, because I do want to see the weight of the fabric. I want to see, how something hangs, where it hits at the hip. Like, I want to see all that. I think most women living in a body, we want to see that. But at the same time, think about where you shop, right? Like, think about, sometimes you're doing it at a meeting. Sometimes you're doing it under the table, right? On a bad day.
Yeah.
Or when your boyfriend's in the bathroom. Like, sorry, but I do that. You don't always want to see the video. You definitely don't always want the sound.
Yeah.
And so I think static shopping still has a real place. And I think TikTok Shop isn't great for that. I also think TikTok Shop doesn't always convert when you're talking about an older audience. And just as Essence needs to scale if they'd like to grow out of this bankruptcy chapter to a bigger age range, I think TikTok Shop, they'll say it themselves, they need to grow into the millennial and the Gen X age range as well, while figuring out how Gen Alpha is going to come up. So I think weirdly, maybe not weirdly, Substack has a really interesting opportunity in terms of static shopping. I think Shop Bazaar, right? Elle's commerce pages, Vogue's commerce pages, like those are going to keep getting bigger and bigger in terms of how people shop, because they want that expert. The strategist is doing a great job of that, obviously. And that is becoming a bigger and bigger part of how we shop. But here's the other thing we've got going on, right? And this is where it gets really cool. We've got the Cafe Forgots of the world, right? We've got these teeny little stores, and they're starting to have an outside influence. We're even having it in vintage with Emma Rogue, right? And so I think that as everyone's newsfeed has become hyper curated, for better or worse, we can start to think about how our shopping feeds are going to become hyper curated, for better or worse. And that can give very small independent sellers a real channel, a real mainline, a pixie stick mainline, right? Directly into the dopamine hit of what you want at that exact moment. And then you supplement that with the Zach Pose and Gab Old Navy, right? You supplement that with the 70% Olympia J.Crew. Sorry, Olympia. And don't forget, we also have Uniqlo, right? We also have Claire Waite Keller, who's doing pretty remarkable stuff with a $25 t-shirt. And I think that for so long in fashion, we've talked about high-low. I'm not sure we want to keep talking about it like that, but we do want to talk about big, small. We're seeing less and less of this middle ground. And we're going to see these hyper curated feeds where you feel like someone is talking to you, at you, with you. And then you've got, hey, all American girls need a pair of jeans. Check it out. Right. And the same way we're seeing this hollowing out of media, the same way we're seeing this hollowing out of social class, the same way we're seeing this hollowing out of the middle everywhere. I think it's a good indication that right now we're going to see that with shopping. That does not mean there's no opportunity there. In fact, as soon as things scatter, right? It's like the Dead Sea parting. You have a clear path. So whoever masters that is going to make a lot of money. And then they should call me. And then I can.
Faran, thank you so much. I love your insight. I love that take. Let's hope that Essence survives. But if it doesn't, I'll see you at the bankruptcy sale.
I was going to say, if it doesn't, I will see you at that sale. Thank you so much. I hope y'all are having a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Thanks, Faran.
See you later.
Bye.
So fun.
Man, so fun. We didn't get to talk about Anna Wintour, which I was very excited to get her take on.
I was. One thing I'll have to say about Anna Wintour's successor, what's her name? Chloe something?
Chloe, yeah. Chloe
they did her dirty with that wrap dress. I don't know.
I'm not familiar with it. I'm not familiar with what happened.
The photo that they put of her, really, really bizarre. I'm sure Kate has thoughts when she comes on later, but okay. Excited for our next guest. I believe he's here. I don't know if he's going to go camera on or camera off, but should we bring him on stage? Okay, we're Cameron. What's up?
Hi.
This looks way better than I could have even imagined. I was wondering how it would frame up looking at like the former Boys Club videos. But this feels good. As you see,
This feels good.
I'm transitioning to a real labubu now.
Full blown. It's happening. It's happening before our eyes. You look great. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, do you want to give a little intro?
Yeah,
here?
so Los, we have a little bio here. I would be curious how you feel about it. An app artist. You drop apps like songs with your project called Danger Testing. So we've had some viral hits recently that we're going to chat about. The dating app was one where you can only swipe and match with you. And then most recently, your labubu app called Performative. Welcome to the show.
Yay! That was great. Thank you.
Great.
I'm so happy.
I'm so good.
I'm so glad. Okay. You've had a crazy few weeks. You, from what I can tell on the internet, you drop a new app every Thursday. And then as well as like a bunch of content around those apps. So I think there's like a lot that we can talk about there, but I'd love to start with basically like, tell us about your most recent viral sensation, this labubu app that went from 0 to 10 million downloads in 5 days. Obviously you're a big labubu fan based on the transition, but would love to hear about just the last few weeks and what it's been like and sort of how it all came together.
Yeah. I mean, well, thank you guys for such a sick introduction. Big fans of the pod. Yeah, it's been pretty insane. I'm like, I actually never knew a lot about labubus. Like I just like spend like a lot of my time like hanging around with like people that call me Unk, So, I mean, they're all, like college grads, like whatever. And, I saw that they were like obsessed with these things. And, my story is literally, I don't have a job, right? So it's like, I was like on severance for a while and I got my last severance check and I was like, okay, I can get a job now, or I could keep on dropping goofy apps. So naturally I was going to keep on dropping goofy apps. And then 3 days after that, I was like in the shower and I thought it was just like, I had the idea. I was like, okay, what if I just like put this on a chain, and I just like made like the boo-boo app that just bounced around and used the phone's gyroscope and it actually seemed real. So I don't have to, it's not going to sell out on me. And, some parts of the internet say that I was doing it to be eco-friendly, which I embrace that comment. I don't know the intended result, but I went to like this like social like co-working space called Versi where I'm at every day, and there's just like a ton of like really creative like content creating founders there, and naturally I was just like wearing it like on my black cargo pants. I honestly wasn't even fully aware of the performative trend either, and so it was right here. The second I walked into the space, there was like 6 people immediately taking photos of like the labubu on me. So I was like, oh, okay, that's the sign for me. Like at danger testing, we track, we have no analytics. It's just all, is anyone screenshotting this? Is anyone taking a picture of it? Like that's like, does it like resonate? Like what's like a memorable view? What's a memorable IRL view? And my friend Anand, he was like, yo, I have this video idea for it. I can't explain it. Let's just do it. 5 minutes. We ran it past one random person that was walking by. I was like, does this need a caption? And he was like, nah, post it. And then like, cumulatively, we're like, the amount of views is like insane now.
So is it, what happens now? Or is it just for the act of doing it? Or are you like, what's next in the evolution of performative, if anything? Or maybe it's just ephemeral and is what it is.
So yeah, I would say that's a great question. That's the question, right? I would say it's a mix of both. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that like it is like this viral, like we are going to like continue to drop like some more like performative-esque apps, like sort of like what you will see with like a show like South Park, right? Like I would say most of our references are like actually not like tech companies. It's like South Park or like SNL, right? And it's like, okay, like they have like this character that like really worked out, and they'll do it for like another 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So we're gonna have like some more performative drops. We just dropped iMatcha last week. There's a lot of people trying to like go on like the old app store, like in early like '08 or like 11, and like seeing like, okay, I wonder if they're gonna do something like this next. So we're gonna do some of those, but yeah, I mean, the idea is it's all ephemerality. Like I don't ever try to go viral, to be honest. I just like go with like my heart, like what makes me laugh. Sometimes it will be things that resonate directly with the culture, and other times it'll be like, I just got ghosted. The ghosted app is gonna drop now, you know.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about, there's so many directions that we could take this conversation, but I've heard you talk about that you like see yourself as sort of like a film director, but with code. I've heard you talk about sort of software as content a lot. And I think I'd really love to understand like what that means to you. And also in that there's something about the clip in which software is meeting culture and how closely sort of shipping has become, which has not been the really what software has been previously. So I'd love for you to sort of talk about that as like content, as what that means to you, like software as content, and also like what's required in sort of the speed and iteration of software as that like form factor.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and even, I mean, if you're asking this question, you see the exact same like vision that I do right now, right? Where it's like, you know, at danger testing, like, yeah, like we drop apps like songs. Like this labubu thing was like not like a planned thing. It was like Monday to Wednesday, we get in the studio, first version submitted to the App Store within a few hours, not months, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like a whole new thing instead of like, you know, everything that you see with everything else, right? Like film was incredibly expensive. Like that was specifically for like science experiments. There was no art there. Fashion was incredibly expensive. You wore whatever rags were around, right? And all of these things became like incredibly cheap over time, and then allowed the people that were artists to, you know, use it as a form of expression, right? So it's like the same thing there. We're witnessing it happen in real time with software, right? Now with AI, everything has become like incredibly cheaper, right? Anyone can make an app, and it's only going to be in the next year. I mean, my co-founder, I don't know if he believes in coding anymore, you know? So it's all going to be like this thing where it's like, you get to like, it's going to come down to like the same questions you have for like you making a TikTok. Like, are you going to be able to like distribute it, market it in a funny way? And sometimes it's like the app itself, like is the content. Like a week before this app went viral, we did like a collaboration with Dia. We had like 80K views. I had no idea what to do. I was like, should I just be making more videos about this video? Or I was like, I don't know. I sort of want to make an app, even though it's not content, like it's not like going to grow itself. But weirdly, it did grow itself because it was that viral, just the same way like a viral video would. So yeah, I think it's going to be like, we're gonna see in a weird way, like people, old heads. I'm unk to some people, but there's still old heads in my life. We wish them well. But they ask me, they're like, I don't know, like what are like the new jobs? Like I feel like if like Mark and I like can win with this, and I'm very sure that we will, like we are actually going to create one of the blueprints for the new career, right? It's like this new hybrid between like rapper and founder, or like painter and engineer. And it's like you get to like express your worldview. And like you said, the cool thing about software that's different from a song or from film is, instead of just resonating from hearing the song of Taylor Swift talking about her ex, oh, my ex did the same thing to me, watching Larry David, and it's like, oh, that happened to me in a supermarket. With software, we get to make you the main character. So this is the world's biggest stage right now. My bet is I can turn 8 million people into an actor in the next 2 years.
Man, I love this vision so much. I think it's so inspiring. It's so inspiring to hear it, but also just to see it expressed. Like I feel like there's a lot of discourse around like democratizing access, and like you hear that like get like thrown around like very casually by people in tech who have a lot of money, frankly. And I just love to see it actually being expressed through you right now, like in the real world, with like very clear and concrete examples of like you expressing yourself through these means. And so I just like, I love it. I think it's so cool. And I could not be rooting for you more. I am curious about like some of the things that like this, you've had some hits, but like there's obviously been, you've taken many shots on goal, right? Like you talk about you're increasing your surface area for luck. What have been some things that haven't hit, and like why do you think they haven't?
Okay, hold up. That's wow. I'm like so thrilled with this question. So I think I can't exactly count, but maybe like between like 15 and like 20 apps that we've like dropped this year. And I would say, yeah, most of them people do not know about. There's this one that I was a big fan of. It's called AI Pope. And it's like when the Pope passed, we were like, okay, like let's make this AI Pope. And it's like you try to go to the Pope to confess your sins. But it's instead of actually inputting your own sin, you do almost like a roulette, like pull the wheel and see what sin you get given, and like you try to work your way out of it. It's for like voting for Kanye, like investing in crypto, like a bunch of not listening to Boys Club. That was one of them.
Yeah.
And that one never banged, you know. But in a weird way, it's like all of them like build on top of each other. Like every single app that we have that Mark and I cook on, like it feels like I actually don't know how to say that word. Amalgamation.
Amalgamation.
Amalgamation of like all the ones that came before and all of the learnings, you know. Totally. And that's why I think like what you guys do is also like so incredibly cool, because it's like I have no idea how like someone's able to like repeat and like iterate on like a video format like this for like this long and this consistently. Like, yeah, I'm bullish.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's really nice. Well, it was so fun to have you on. I have one final question for you. You previously worked at Eternal, and I was told to ask you how many demerits you received while you were working there.
Endless. It almost resulted in my termination from the company, but
look at you now. Look at you now.
Look at me now. No, I'm here because of Reggie's support. Honestly, this is a lot. There's a lot of, you know, danger testing stuff that was happening late at Eternal as well that, you know, Reggie fully supported. So I'm just hyped for all this to glow up. But now it's like the world gives me demerits. Barstool Sports is making fun of the way I wear socks. So it was just preparation.
I saw that the cargo shorts comment was like, cargo shorts and loafers go so hard. I found it supportive. I thought it was a supportive comment. Well, there it is. I love it. Well, this was so fun. We're so happy to have you on. We love what you're doing. Dangertesting.com, right? That's the best place to track where things are at, apps you guys are dropping. Thanks so much. Can't wait to see what you guys are cooking next.
Thank you guys so much. Big fan.
Bye.
Take care. Oh my gosh, so fun.
So fun. Love what he's up to, what they're up to. Okay.
So fun.
We have some quick hits that we're going to come into, and they are going to be done by
me. I'm gonna share the screen, but Kate's gonna come.
Oh, I was like, join. Oh wow, a live edit happening.
Doing it live. No, sorry. I have been preoccupied with the slide share here, so let me just get it ready.
Okay, Kate, do you want to come up? There
Hi.
She is. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, hi.
Kate, can I just say just a quick shout out for Kate? Kate always has the best energy.
Oh,
she will just roll with the punches, and we love to see that. So Kate, shout out.
Shout out. Thank you. I received that.
Take it. Okay, what are we starting with here?
All right. I'm gonna do like a in short for each of these.
Great.
So we keep it moving, but if you got interjections, feel free to interrupt.
Okay.
So SNL season 51 got a new cast. All right. So we have Tommy, Jeremy, Ben, Cam, Veronica. Veronica, though, who we had on the pod a little
We
while
have
back.
first Boys Club podcast guest to be cast as on SNL. I will say, big milestone.
Huge news, big moment for us specifically. No, congrats.
How
to
do
her.
we make the new SNL cast about us?
Couldn't happen to a more deserving person.
She's so wonderful,
so talented, so wonderful. But I specifically want to speak to the fact that a lot of the new cast members are more digital culture focused. So like Veronica stands out as a prime example of this, like viral social media creator directly recruited to SNL. And it's like a lot of articles are pointing to the fact that it's modern casting pipeline anchored in digital culture. And if you look at each cast member, they all have like a background in whether it's online sketch comedy with a web series or podcasting, that sort of thing. So specifically, Veronica is like the biggest on TikTok, as in her like primary skill set. But she's obviously done acting. She's done stand-up. So just really interesting to think about how we're trying to get some Gen Z viewers up in here.
What's really interesting to me, I thought about this actually a lot when Kim Kardashian hosted SNL, and everybody was like freaking out about her being on and hosting that episode. And in her monologue, she basically like roasted everyone and was like, I think it's like 3 million people watch SNL like live night of or whatever. And she was just like, that's like rookie numbers. Like I post a video on Instagram and like literally gets like 27 million views in like a few hours. And I think it totally like changed my perspective on it. And I think it's similar to Veronica. Like probably a lot of the videos that she's posted has the same amount of viewership as what an SNL skit gets any given night, which is wild that we're living in that age. But she is so funny. You should go check out all of her stuff. She's also so nice. And so I don't know, it was just cool to see someone who I have liked from afar and have talked to for 20 minutes, but win. It was just like, I was like, this is cool. This is really cool.
Yeah, it definitely highlights the pipeline we're all seeing on TikTok where, you know, if you want to get into acting, start doing sketches, and then this is just another stop on the
go on Boys Club.
Go on Boys Club. Then you'll get into SNL, and then you'll get more acting roles. Boom.
There you go. Okay, what's next here?
Okay, J.Crew AI. You put a lot of screenshots in this.
Well, it's the visuals people want to see. If I'm just saying like, wow, this photo, can you tell that it's AI? People are like, no, I can't see it. So for the viewers that are watching, you're lucky. If you're listening to the pod, then turn on that video. But or you could just go to J.Crew's social media and see their latest campaign. The summary is J.Crew quietly released a nostalgic looking campaign promoting a Vans collab. But they initially did not say that this was AI. Yeah, it was not disclosed that they were AI generated images. Blackbird Spyplane Substack, it's like covers men's fashion or fashion at whole, broke the news that the visuals weren't real photos at all, but AI generated and filled with glitches. Only after the public backlash did J.Crew add credits to an AI photographer. And so, yeah, people were not happy about this. They were like, why do this? So we have Blackbird Spyplane's Substack. I subscribe to the email. Go subscribe. It's great. Pointed out, like said that he pulled on friends, brought on a friend's like dad who's a nautical expert, and pointed out that, you know, the handlebars look weird on the bike. And in the next one, you'll see like the paint spot isn't consistent throughout. And his foot while he's sitting down looks like
the main one is the
backwards.
The main one is the foot. Like, yeah. I think what I was struck by with this story is like, yeah, there's a lot of like small glitches that you could point out. A lot of those glitches, I think, you could chalk up to like bad post. Like they did some weird stuff in post and it got wonky. But the one that's truly incriminating that I'm like, how did someone on the creative team not catch this? Like his foot is sort of like folded under him, but his whole foot is facing the wrong direction. Like it's like fully twisted backwards.
Right.
It's a little hard to see in this photo, but that's the one that I was like, ooh, they should have caught that.
This is maybe a stupid question, but these are AI models, right?
It's all AI. Yeah.
It's all AI.
All
They
of
get
it.
the people too. Okay.
Now,
interesting.
what-
So it's cost saving? Is that presumably like cost and-
Presumably,
Okay.
the Blackbird Spyplane reached out to their PR team and other people, and so far, at least the last I read, he's like, I haven't had a response yet. But I love this one where you zoom in on the camera and he goes, what kind of camera is this? Because it just looks ridiculous. It's like a triple layered camera. Yeah. Really,
Oh man.
really.
And there was a lot of backlash. A big part of the story.
backlash happening. People like, if you want to do this, okay, other brands have, but just disclose that it's AI. The fact that they kind of tried to hide it, it was weird, especially since the agency that made it, for AI photographer works through an agency. The agency posted on LinkedIn that they had done these photos, and
Not LinkedIn.
they disclosed that it was AI. Can't believe LinkedIn got the story first, right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh
But
man.
there you have it.
Wow, interesting stuff. I gotta say, if I'm Vans, I'm pissed.
Oh,
Mm.
totally.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys, I didn't need to catch that stray.
No,
Totally.
poor Vans.
Okay.
Also,
next.
it's a really great campaign, just for the record.
Well, also Vans approved the AI, so there's no way they didn't.
Okay, let's move on to Mike.
Meek Mill, big announcement. This tweet was what started it all, and it was a tweet from Meek Mill on August 31st saying, "Working on an AI tool that can change the world." LOL.
8 million views on
8
that.
million views.
8 million views.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Crazy, because also outlets like Hot 97 reported that he was highlighting a collaboration with a genius tech guy, supposedly. Insists that it isn't just hype. However, he did call it out with an LOL at the end. So he's getting some backlash from just, his everyday fans or hip hop music people that are like, no, we're not interested in your AI app, sir. And then, saying things like they don't like him because of association with Diddy or that thing. A lot of insults in that range.
Okay.
And then on the flip side, there's the tech community. Hello, that is us.
Hello. Hello.
That are like curious and are interested, and then they make graphics like this. I thought this was real. It definitely got me. I was like, oh, interesting. Meek Mill, American hip hop artist, raises 15 million from A16Z. And then it's just like, nah, someone's trolling.
And it looks like a TechCrunch article. So
like
it's quite compelling as a spoof. I think a few things that come up for me. I saw a lot of retweets around this, like, is this a bubble? And I had to, or like, it's a bubble, or like, what's that movie? The Big Short.
Yeah.
And like quote tweeting it with that. And I had to kind of check myself because the week prior, there were the two OnlyFans women on the podcast talking about what crypto investments they're making.
Yep.
And there was a lot of the same sort of retweeting and quote tweeting of like, we're in a bubble, and a lot of screenshots from The Big Short when Steve Carell is at a strip club and the girl is saying that she owns like 4 different properties, all basically mortgaged out. And he's like, it's about to burst. And with the two OnlyFans creators, I had this feeling of like, this really pisses me off. Like, these women can't talk about, they make so much money. They make more money than most anybody who is quote tweeting them. Why shouldn't they be able to talk about where they're investing that money? And we would be so lucky for them to be shilling our coins and pumping our bags. That was my feeling around it. I was just like, this is annoying to me. And then this week, when this was happening with Meek Mill, I was sort of like, who better to be speaking into the way that music is going to look into the future than actual music artists. And why shouldn't they be able to raise money for those products? So
Totally.
I don't know. I think like obviously the LOL, this
also
is not so serious.
2:01 a.m.
2:01 a.m. On AI. There's like, you know, it's not a great tweet, but I just think that we should have an openness to who is creating things and who are founders and who's investing in crypto projects or AI projects. Thank you. Okay, that's it. We can maybe leave Cardi for another day, another time.
Just shout out Cardi. That's it. We love you.
She's incredible. She's incredible. She's once in a generation for sure. Okay, thanks for joining, Kate. Thanks for your hot takes, and we'll see you guys later.